Okay. It is 7:04 p.m. on April 27th, 2022, and I call this meeting of the Westminster Historic Landmark Board to order. If we could have the roll call, please.
Gargi Gupta.
Here.
Linda Graybill. Who is here. We might just have a delay on audio. Karen Hardy.
Here.
Sarah Lorek. Not here. Alana Mace.
Here.
Mary Oswell.
Here.
Tennille Wood.
Here.
Alternate Keith Teeter.
Here.
That's 7 present, 1 absent. And we'll keep an eye out should Sarah join us mid-presentation.
Are there any considerations of the minutes, corrections, addendums from our last meeting? Hearing none, I call for a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved. A second.
All in favor of accepting the minutes as they stand? That looks like a unanimous of the present. On to new business, which I believe is starts with the summer tour update.
Yes, I want to give a huge thank you to those of you that have been participating on the subgroups, working on this diligently behind the scene with our partners at the Westminster Historical Society. And I also have 2 introductions we need to make before we go any further. One is that we have a new alternate member joining us for the first time tonight, and that's Keith Teeter. Keith, if you'd like to just say hello and maybe just a brief intro of your passion for historic preservation, anything you'd like to share just so we can get to know you.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. I'm currently serving as an associate director of the Auraria Campus Library in Denver. And I have a bachelor's degree in American history and spent some time in graduate school for American history at Vanderbilt University. And so I have a real passion for history. It's been kind of my life's work. And of course, as a librarian, I'm very interested in preservation of the historic record.
Mary, if we have time with your permission after we do our business, maybe we could have a quick introduction by everybody else so Keith knows who each of you are. But let's continue moving forward with the order of business. And I needed to make one other introduction. Joining us for the first time is the City of Westminster's new Cultural Affairs coordinator, and that's Kate Cook. And Kate is now joining me on these presentations, and Kate will actually take it away because she has been spearheading those work sessions. So Kate.
Thank you, Rich. Actually, I have not been spearheading them. Linda and the committee has actually been driving the bus on this project. So it's a really exciting project. We are doing 4 history tours this summer, and each tour will be different. So the first tour is on June 11th, and it is a tour of the heart of historic Westminster. Each tour is running about 3 hours, so with various breaks. Our second tour will be on July 9th, again from 10 to 1, and we're looking at historic farms in Westminster. So really going to Schoenberg and that area of town and talking about the impact on the community. We'll start off at the vintage baseball game. It's a lot of fun there. On August 13th, we'll be looking at the legacy of Church Ranch and Sepper Farm in Westminster. Again, we'll be meeting at the MAC and heading up north and really diving into the history in this area. And then the 4th tour will be on September 10th, again from 10 to 1, and we'll be looking at historic Northeast Westminster. So meeting at City Hall, talking about the history there and art, and then heading up to Savory Mushroom Silo, the Metzger Farm, and also the Wesley Cemetery. And I'm sorry, I kind of brushed right over Heart of Historic Westminster, but we'll be really looking at the heart of Westminster, talking about the history there, spending some time at the Bowles House, heading up Bradburn, talking about the architecture, coming back, and then spending some time on 73rd and talking about the importance of that corridor for our community. So good job, Mary and Linda and the whole committee, everybody. So good job.
Are there questions about what's going on with the tour? Anybody?
Well, one thing we'll want to address is we wanted to make sure that members of this board that are interested in providing narration certainly are welcome to join our partners from the Historical Society. We do have people that have expressed interest. Anybody on this board, do you wish to participate? What we would do is give you a script and kind of give you some coaching and some tips on just being as charismatic as possible. Any volunteers? I just curious to know who who would like to take that role, and certainly there's no obligation to, but you're welcome to.
I will be
Mary?
happy to participate, except not in the June one, because that's when my house is going to be a mess, and I don't think signing up for anything else would be smart. I think I will be in town for all the rest of those dates, so I'd be interested in anywhere you need to fill in, I guess, is the best for me. So.
Would anybody else care to join? I know Linda will certainly be a big part of it. Tennille has expressed an interest as well. Kate is taking these names down just so we know how we can divvy those up. In most cases, the tour will take place with one large bus. However, one of the dates we actually will have 2 vehicles because we couldn't get the large bus. So we have a smaller bus and a 15-passenger van, but with professional drivers, so you don't have to worry about me putting you into a ditch. That's probably a good thing. But we'll have more opportunities, obviously, for 2 presenters on that day, but we can always double up and share and have a good time with this. Want to also remind everybody that each of these dates corresponds to other activities that are taking place in Westminster. We did that intentionally so that people can see the vibrancy on the 73rd Street at the galleries, for instance, on gallery walks, so people can enjoy the baseball game, the 1870s baseball game. So they can participate in Around the World Street Fair. And so that was done intentionally, and we hope to have people enjoy multiple activities on the same day because there's quite a bit going on in Westminster, and we're happy to continue to add to that list.
Rich,
Yes,
I'd
Karen.
love to help. Oh, sorry.
I have
Karen.
a question about how these will be publicized to the rest of the world.
It will be publicized in a number of ways, and frankly, they're already being publicized. We haven't actually sold the tickets yet, so we're going to do our big push once we have the tickets live. But it's already been advertised in our activity guide, which is sent to every household in Westminster. It's probably one of our strongest marketing tools, frankly. We'll have extensive digital campaigns. We'll be posting signs and posters promoting it in our recreation facilities and some of the businesses on 73rd. We will have a postcard that we're actually mailing out to the residents of Harris Park, that entire community, with a list of all summer events so that they have opportunity to add all of them at one time to their calendars. We'll continue to promote it on Nextdoor and other ways as well, but it'll be quite heavily advertised. I'm sorry, Linda, did you have something? I know Alana wants to volunteer to also participate, and so we'll make sure we add her name to that. Linda? So Linda, we're not hearing you. We had a delay earlier. We're not hearing you, Linda. Are you unmuted? We seem to have a communication problem with Linda. Linda, if you'd like to type your remarks in the chat, you can use the chat feature, and the other members will be able to see your comments there. So if you want to toggle down that bottom bar in your navigation pane for chat, we can try that maybe.
I think we lost her.
Oh no.
We
Well,
lost her.
hopefully she'll be back, and then we can bring her back into the conversation.
Well, this sounds like a lot of, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really, Kate has kept me up to date, but I have been in kind of a whirl at the moment, so I haven't actually been to any of these meetings, but just having things move forward, the wagon is going the right direction, so that's really sounds like it's going to be great. So.
Yes, this is an excellent first step, and I think we were doing a lot of the homework for the content we would like to add to the website. We still have work to do there, and for any other brochures we wish to produce. This is laying that foundation, so it's good for us to have this as the first step.
Sounds great.
Now, one thing I will share, it's not necessarily related to the events we just discussed, but there are a variety of other events happening in historic Westminster this summer, and we're going to be doing our best to get the word out regarding those, everything from sidewalk sales to car shows at Electric City. It's really important that we continue to support our historic core, and we're also already talking about opportunities for bringing additional programming to the Grange and other locations in historic Westminster next year, including possibly even a concert series. So there may be opportunities for us to do promotional activities in association with those activations. So I just wanted to float that out there on an early basis, just so you know that we are keeping that in the back of our mind at all times on how we bring increased awareness to really the heart of Westminster. And we'll also be helping the Historical Society to build upon the success of their tree lighting ceremony this year. So we're excited about that as well. Hi, Linda. I'm glad you're back. Can you see if your microphone works?
Does my microphone work?
Well, you're on a delay.
I don't know what to tell you.
Um,
Great.
So while Linda is entering her comments, Mary, if there's anything else.
I'm trying to respond to Linda just since she texted to me. She was interested in having me take September the 10th, and I looked at my calendar and forgot that, yes, September the 10th is the day I get back from Europe if we go to Europe. So unfortunately, that is not a good day for me. I had completely forgotten about that as a conflict. Otherwise, I would be happy to do it. Is there any other new business that we have going forward? I have a piece of old business, which I noticed in looking at the minutes. So it's, we were going to try to get together to write a letter to the school district about applying for historic landmark status for Union High School and or the school at 72nd and Lowell. And it fell off my radar, to be honest, but it is something I would like to do. I cannot remember if somebody agreed to work with me or if I was going to work with you, Rich, or I didn't see a name.
I don't remember identifying anybody specifically, but I know that we did include links to resources that would be necessary to include, or helpful to include at least, in that letter. Those were the links offered by the State Office of Historic Preservation. So if you remember, there are quite a few links there that would have benefit language, things that would be helpful when we reach out to the schools. But I leave that really to the board for drafting that letter, and I'm happy to wordsmith it, but I really think it needs to come from the board.
Okay. Well, and I, because of her their better history on this. Either Karen or Gargi might be somebody be willing to work with me to get that. I don't think it will take hours and hours to do, but at least in my mind, I think the school district is an appropriate group to apply for to get those. They're landmarked by some of them by the state and others even US. And it'd be nice to have them be on our list, I guess is the way I look at it. So if you want to, sort of start a little email trail of us working on that, if we could get that, considering where we are now, if that could be something that was ready to go over the summer and it went out and it was in the school's hands in the fall, I would think that would make a good sense in terms of timing. So
I would probably recommend addressing that to Dr. Duffy directly.
Yeah. In terms of the way they look at their world, I always think of them as thinking of the world as going from August to May. So if it was in their hands early in the year, but okay, yeah, let's try to. I'll try to send off an email that groups us all together so that we can start talking about that.
Sounds good.
Any other old business that we? Okay, doesn't sound like it. With respect to other business, I have one thing that I would like to remind folks of, which is that on May 21st at 10 o'clock is the Armed Forces Day celebration at the Armed Forces Tribute Garden. It's the day that we unveil the new bricks that are placed, and I know that George Smith from the History Center has applied for and got new bricks. One of those bricks actually honors a member of a family that I've been doing some research on, which is a Japanese family named Nakagawa that lived on Bradburn. So his brick is going to be released that day, but that's going on, and I think usually it's about an hour from what George has told me. I have not been there myself, but I wanted to get that on the calendar for folks who might be interested in coming by.
It's a very lovely ceremony. We'd love to have any of you that are interested in joining us. That is produced by my team.
Will you send out an email to remind us about that? Give us the time and so forth and so on?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Any other conference education update stuff?
Well, once again, Karen was very kind to share her observations and notes from her participation in the virtual Saving Places conference this year. And she did send those to me. I have not been able to get them to you, but I promised her that I would do so after this meeting. So you will be looking for, in addition to that Armed Forces Tribute Garden invitation, those minutes for your enjoyment. And thank you, Karen, once again for taking the time to share that information, to condense it and compile it for the members of the board. It's much appreciated.
I'm curious, did anyone else go to the in-person, any of the in-person sessions?
No, not this year.
So the virtual meeting was easy to do, and the sessions are always worthwhile. So I hope that maybe you'll find a few nuggets of information for future reference. I was especially interested in the last panel. It made the wheels turn in my mind about our summer tours, because one of the participants is a Native American from I think she's with the Southern Ute tribe, and that made me think about the possibility of consulting at some point with there's the Colorado Commission of Indian Affairs, and they would put us in touch with appropriate people who might have some insight and some stories to share with us around our historic properties and so forth, from farther back in history, perhaps.
I should take this chance to mention that Kate and I are working on the schedule of activities for the Around the World street fair, and we're actually trying to book a Native American storyteller. So maybe that's a doorway into that as well. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, Karen. It's a great recommendation.
Is there anything else that we didn't get in anywhere else in the agenda that people need to talk about?
No, but just as a reminder, in the notes that from the last meeting when I sent all those links, great resource to have. There's always training opportunities and webinars offered through the State Office of Historic Preservation. So please keep an eye on that, and you'll probably find some things that would be of interest and of great use.
Okay.
Well, we would like to close out by saying hello to our council member that joins us as the liaison to this group. That's Councilor Lindsay Emmons. Lindsay, please say hello.
Hi, all. Nice seeing you. I hope to all see you in person at one point. I hear that a onboarding and get together is coming soon, so hopefully I can meet you in person. And Keith, I think we've already met in getting you on board, but some of you I've barely met in person, so I think we've been in this pandemic for a while. So again, thank you for all that you do, and I'm very excited for our upcoming tours and all of the work and background that you've put into this. So I'm sure that our community is going to love it and soak it all up. So I know that as part of our strategic plan, we just adopted it on Monday, but it was purposeful to help activate this board a little bit more. So it was placed in the strategic plan for activating our historic landmark board. So I'm very excited about that. So, and then Rich, I just have a quick question for you for the letter for the school district. Are they able to put that on Westminster letterhead?
Yes, we actually have a board letterhead actually for the Historic Landmark Board. We actually have that created for each of our boards. So once that is ready and drafted, I can certainly help prepare it on the appropriate stationery for signature.
Great, thank you. Again, thank you all for your work.
Thank you, Lindsay.
And just to follow up on, it was an excellent reminder from Councilor Emmons. There will be another onboarding opportunity coming up. I don't have the details yet, but I know it's imminent. I think we're actually meeting about it tomorrow, so we should be able to nail it down. And if it might be included in that email, or maybe to come under separate cover, but I will make sure that you all have that on your calendar so you can choose to attend. I'm not sure if it's going to be in person and virtual. I don't know, but maybe we have that option for both. I will certainly give you those details.
That sounds great. Seeing no other business, I call the meeting to close at 7:27 p.m.
Were we going to introduce ourselves to Keith?
Yes. I'm not saying that part. Keith, I'm Mary Oswell. I moved to Westminster about 10 years ago, Colorado 11 years ago. My background is in museums and local history, and my degree's in anthropology, so I don't do that much with that anymore. Local history is something I really believe in, and so that's why I got involved. So Karen, you're next in the box.
Okay. Hi again, Keith. I'm Karen Hardy, and I moved to Colorado in '75 and originally lived over off of Wadsworth and didn't know I was in Westminster because my address was Arvada. But I moved into Westminster proper in Adams County in '85. And then when the Landmark Board, and I worked from '75 until 2002 when I retired at the State Historic Preservation Office in the Office of Archaeology and Historic Preservation, primarily interacting with federal agencies and state agencies and helping them carry out their responsibilities under our various preservation and cultural resource acts. And then after I retired, seemed to coincide pretty closely with when the Landmark Board was created, and someone said, "You will apply, won't you?" So I'm one of the originals from the board.
Gargi?
I'm going to test you on my name. My name is Gargi Dattagupta. I've been on this board for a few years now. I forget how long. I have lived in Westminster. I have to now look back and think. Can't remember how many years, but I moved to Colorado and lived downtown for a while. Originally from India. I'm an architect. Continue to work as an architect, and I worked in the private sector with architecture firms doing historic preservation for park services, and that's what sparked my interest in historic preservation. So here I am. I will pass that on to Nell.
Tennille, sorry.
Yes, hello, I'm Tennille Wood, and I'm one of the, I think, newer-ish members on the board, although it's been, I don't know, pandemic time. I think I've been here 4 years. I don't know. Pre-COVID at some point. Anyway, I am an interior designer, and my passion has always been rehabbing older homes and honoring the time period in which the homes were created, but updating those. So that's what really has always sparked my interest is I love old buildings, old architecture, all of it. And then I also teach the history of architecture and design class for Arapahoe Community College for their interior design program. So all of that brought me here, and I was born in Westminster, and then I left for a very long time, and then I returned about 8 years ago. So it's a good city to be in.
Did I miss anybody?
We have Alana, but her camera's off. Alana, are you still with us?
I'm here. Apparently, Xfinity decided I didn't want to attend the meeting, but so I'm on my phone, so I don't think you can see me because I don't know how to turn it on, but I am here. So I'll introduce myself even though you can't see me. I'm the newest member, and so just still learning the ropes. But I was born on a Colorado Historic Landmark, one of the most amazing places. It's a Native American trading post in southern Colorado, and one of the oldest schools that it is Colorado. So I've had kind of grown up with it in my blood. I'm an anthropologist by study, so I have a degree in that. And I'm just fascinated by the city of Westminster and the incredible things that we have here. So here.
I think I got everybody. If I've missed anybody. Linda was there. Are you still there, Linda?
I think we've had some problems with Linda's connection tonight, but we'll certainly make sure you get a proper. There she is.
Linda? Oh, that's right. Well,
so she wrote in the chat that she lived in Westminster since 1999, and she teaches at the Pillar of Fire campus, and she has done for several years of teaching of Westminster history, and she's the president of the Westminster Historic Society.
Yay!
And much more.
That's like scratching the surface. So, yes, I agree. I'm hopeful that at some point in the future we will all be in the same room at the same time, even if we're like, standing at arm's length. Head. There was something else. So, as far as we know, meeting dates for the remainder of the year remain the same, and I promised to get an email out on the letter, and I hope you all have a nice evening, and we are done early. Bye.
7:33, the meeting is adjourned.
Kate, can I talk to you for a minute before we officially, after the meeting, but before I get offline with you? I know
Yes.
we've been talking about this photograph thing of the mayors, and
Exactly.
all I want to say is if you could get down someday to the Historical Society on Wednesday at 10 when the guys meet, they might be able to identify some of those unknown photos for you.
Okay.
And I'd love to be there if I can, but if not, as long as George is there, you know, they'll dig in. And if nothing else, then you won't have unknown photographs anymore in your archives.
Okay. It's just a handful, but they're interesting photos. They're very, charismatic and interesting.
Okay. Well, and the other thing is that I will push George. He's been working to get all these photographs together, and what I'll do is when we get them together, I'll try to get a copy to the city as well, electronically at least. So thank you for allowing me to chat about other stuff.
Not a problem. I'm sorry that there wasn't anything beyond the 50s. So
I'm not surprised. I wish I was, but I'm not. So thank you all, and we'll be in touch, and I will see you all in July, if not before then.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, come now.